Let's go ahead and settle in for some meditation. No guidance this morning. Have a lovely practice, and I'll see you all in 15 minutes. very gently, please allow your consciousness to become less absorbed as you begin to arise from meditation. We dedicate all of the merit from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings without exception have an abundance of pure air and water, delicious, nutritious food, safe, warm, dry, reliable, and affordable shelter, and comfortable, functional, attractive clothing. With everyone's basic needs met, may we all enter and progress on wisdom paths that lead to ultimate liberation from suffering. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Welcome back, everyone. So we are continuing with our studies and contemplations of the Lojong, training the mind. And, you know, over the course of our time together, for you 2021 folks, it's been a year and change. For the 2022 folks, it's been, I don't know what, 3 months, two and a half months or so. During that time, we have covered some very profound topics. We've gone into really topics as profound as it gets within the Dharma. We've talked about emptiness. We've talked about non-duality. We have talked about impermanence. Oh, and for the 2022 folks, we didn't go into emptiness as extensively as we did in the 2021 group, but basically the teachings on emptiness is what I refer to as phenomena being a made-up idea. It's kind of code for emptiness, more or less. We've talked about impermanence. We've talked about subtle impermanence. Lots of profound topics. And in my view, there is no topic more profound than the basic Lojong teaching, which involves changing the object of self-importance, or the object of importance, from self to others. It really is, if as you sit with this and become more familiar with it, with this proposition, you'll come to see increasingly how profound it is. I'm going to change the object of my cherishing from myself to others. It's like a complete shift in our frame of reference. Right now, as we've said a number of times, and this is such good practice. I think it has to start with examining our own individual response, each of us individually examining our own response to things that happen in our world, to identify this sense of self-importance or self-cherishing, or the extent to which we make others the focal point of what we regard, who we regard as being important, and cherishing them instead. there are all sorts of opportunities, especially at this time in this world, all sorts of newsworthy things going on. There's, of course, the war in Ukraine. To what degree, upon hearing about the war, did our mind go to, how will this affect me? It's on another continent, so probably not that much. Or kind of a related development, gas prices are going up and may continue to go up as a result of the war in Europe. Oh, I don't own a car. I ride my bicycle everywhere, so it doesn't really affect me. Our habitual mind of self-cherishing will go to this place. How does this affect me? Kind of looking out for number one. And maybe on the periphery, maybe as an afterthought, we think about how the war in Europe, the resultant increase in gas prices, maybe political shifts, maybe geopolitical shifts. Just check and see how much, or to what degree your first reaction is, how is this going to affect my life? It might be overtly manifest, that question, or it might be subtle. But it's a good place to start. It's kind of in keeping with the recommendation of the Buddha. First, you should know suffering. So we're going into continuing, you guys, I'm just basically using transform your life as the guide for these Lojong teachings, because so much of this is a really, really beautiful and powerful presentation of the Lojong. So in the text, if you're following along, and I would invite you to do so if you have a copy of How to Transform Your Life. If you don't, we've got an extra one here at the center. Happy to make it available to you. So we are transitioning from learning to cherish others to how to enhance cherishing love. It's the next chapter in the Lojong. And Geshe Kelsang writes, one of the main functions of Dharma is to serve as a mirror in which we can see our own faults. One of the main functions of Dharma is to serve as a mirror in which we can see our own faults. That in itself is very profound. And it links up directly to the Lojong teachings. Everything has the potential to serve as a mirror for us, everything and everyone. Right? This is one of the first teachings that everything is a projection of our mind. Right? We grasp at phenomena as though it has inherent existence from its own side, but in fact, both existentially and qualitatively, phenomena are a projection of our mind. So we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 people on this call, 12 actually, including me. We've got 12 people on this call. And we each have a different experience of, let's pick a phenomenon. Silver City, the town of Silver City. There are 12 different silver cities existing for the 12 different people on this call. That is to say, there's no universal entity no Silver City entity for which we can universally agree this is what makes up Silver City, definitively, an absolute. No, 12 different minds perceiving Silver City. Therefore, there are 12 different Silver Cities being experienced for each of us. That necessarily means that Silver City is a projection of your mind. It doesn't exist separate from your mind. So, before we go on, any questions or objections to that radical notion? Seeing none, back to this notion that one of the main functions of Dharma is to serve as a mirror. If everything in your world is a projection of your mind, again, not just qualitatively, but existentially, if it is a projection of your mind and you encounter a person that you find unpleasant, disagreeable, where is that unpleasantness and disagreeableness coming from? Has to be coming from our mind. Roberta looks around. Who me? So we encounter somebody, and when we're on our best Dharma behavior, we might have the thought, I perceive this person, I perceive this person as being very unpleasant. Kind of when we're on our best behavior, we might have that thought. Usually it's, this person is unpleasant. This person is unpleasant. He or she is just this way. By using the mirror of Dharma and this understanding that we have of everything being a projection of our mind, we can come to recognize that I'm just creating unpleasant person from my mind. These features, these unpleasant features that I am experiencing with regard to this person are obscurations or an illusion. It's an illusion to my mind, right? It's almost like they're a dream object. I'm not perceiving this situation correctly as the person mirrors back to you what your mind is creating. There are impurities within my consciousness, also known as karma, negative karma. There are impurities within my mental consciousness. There are obscurations. There are delusions. This is a deluded experience that I'm having. Thank goodness this person is here to reflect this back to me. And thank goodness I have tools that I can use to try to remedy my karmic experience of what's happening here. Whatever line of reasoning you use, one of the primary functions of the Dharma is to serve as a mirror and to enable us to use everyone and everything that we encounter as a mirror, which reflects back to us what we're creating with our mind. Also, you guys, good news. So often when we talk about karma, we talk about it within a negative context. To the extent that you encounter someone who is beautiful or pleasant, how wonderful. This creation of your mind is coming from a place of purity within your mind and wisdom and selflessness, probably. So there's that part of it too. How wonderful this positive karma is ripening for me. What we're going to talk about in Friday's class is the extent to which we can use Dharma, the mirror of Dharma, to keep us from slipping from a place of genuine appreciation for a person's good qualities as a result of the karma that's ripening for us, and not go over the line into this mind of desirous attachment, thinking, oh, this person is pleasant, they can make me happy. They're happiness producing entities, they can make me happy, I need to possess them. or get closer to them or whatever. So that is on tap for Friday. Thank you guys. I love you and I cherish you, and have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. Bye-bye.
Jeff, I have a question, which is back to the unpleasant person, for example.
Yep.
Even if that is an illusion that is shared by many, like many people don't like that person, for example, Putin,
Yep.
it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're really only supposed to be in charge of yourself, right?
Yep. That's a really important point. Yes. Yes, Tina. Kind of how the rest of the world might perceive a particular person. Not really our business. Maybe if it's an example of somebody who's sort of like universally respected and appreciated. I don't know, maybe Mahatma Gandhi, maybe Martin Luther King, whomever it might be. Maybe we can rejoice in other people's appreciation of that person. That's a positive outcome. But just remember this, in addition to what you said, Tina, about what's our business and what's not our business. If there was a person out there who was universally, unequivocally, definitively bad and negative, everyone in the world would regard that person that way. The fact is that even with people like Vladimir Putin, there are people who like him, who think he's pleasant. So kind of that's an important one to keep in mind as well. Thank you for the question, Tina.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, you guys, have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.